You think your baby is crying because you're doing something wrong? In reality, every time you guess wrong, your baby is forced to cry louder just to be understood. This video will show you how you're accidentally training that behavior and how to read the signals before they ever escalate. You're in the kitchen and you hear your baby start to whimper from the other room. You hear it, but you wait a moment thinking, they're probably fine. The crying gets louder. You rush in, pick them up, and try one thing after another. This time, you get it right. They stop. But you didn't notice what actually just happened. You didn't read the first signal. You only reacted when it was loud enough. Your baby's brain just registered that moment, but not in the way you think. In the next few minutes, you'll see how every delayed reaction is building a communication pattern you never wanted. And it all starts with the tiny signals you've been missing. You think you're taking care of your baby? Actually, you're just guessing. When your baby starts whimpering, you rush to pick them up, but they won't stop crying. So you frantically try feeding them, thinking, maybe they're hungry or just sleepy. The truth is, a baby's brain sends out subtle cues long before the crying starts. When those cues are ignored, they have to turn up the volume with a full-blown scream just to get your attention. Wrong. Over and over again. Without realizing it, you're teaching your child that gentle communication is useless, forcing them to become extreme just to be heard. It's not that your baby is difficult, it's that you're misreading them. The thing is, your baby's signals are never random. The signals are always there before the crying starts. You just aren't seeing them. When your baby turns their head away or starts clenching their fists, you stay calm, thinking, if they aren't crying, they're fine. In reality, a baby's brain sends signals in a strict sequence, from subtle to unmistakable. If those early stages are ignored, their nervous system is forced to trigger much louder reactions. Always there. This causes you to lose the ability to read your child early on, while the baby learns to give up on gentle communication altogether. Crying isn't the first signal, it's the final one. And when you miss the beginning, something starts to take shape. You don't mean to teach this, but your baby's brain is learning anyway. When they cry softly, you don't react. But the moment they scream louder, you rush in. Through this feedback loop, the baby learns that only high intensity gets a response. Why is it getting harder and harder to soothe them? Because each time, the cry comes faster and stronger. Repeat. Stronger. You don't lack love, you're just reacting at the wrong time. And that's when things begin to escalate. This isn't your baby's personality, it's a learned pattern. Next time, they'll skip the quiet whimpering and go straight to screaming from the start. The brain optimizes energy by choosing the signal that gets the fastest results. This causes the child's attention span to drop and makes it much harder for them to self-regulate. Not personality. The brain doesn't care about right or wrong, it only keeps what works. And at this point, the problem isn't even about the baby anymore. You aren't neglecting your baby. You're just teaching them the wrong way to be heard. When you only react when they're loud enough, and only pay attention when they lose control, their brain links attention with high arousal. The calm states are never reinforced, causing explosive behaviors to skyrocket. This is where it breaks. You aren't understanding your child. You're programming the only way they can be understood. So, what happens when you change how you respond?
Communication doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be on time. When you respond the moment your baby turns away, or feed them before the screaming starts, their brain learns a vital lesson. Gentle signals are enough. They no longer feel the need to escalate just to be heard. This time, everything is calm because the crying never had to happen. Early. Gentle. Enough. The brain doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be there at the right time. You don't need to be better at guessing. You just need to look sooner.
There are parents who wait for the cry to react, and there are parents who recognize the signals long before the crying starts. Remember, your baby's communication doesn't begin with a cry. It begins with the very things you've been missing. The last time your baby cried, what was the first signal you didn't see? If you want to understand your child before everything becomes overwhelming, stay here with me. It's not that your baby needs you to be faster. They just need you to be earlier.